You heard me,
Progress.
progress.
All right,
I'm making progress.
That's a good one. And I don't see anybody in the room, so.
okay. So I'm gonna call to order the Park and Rec Commission meeting of July 7th, 2025. Public forum, we have no one in the audience. We have no one in the air on the screen. Move on to correspondence received and forwarded. Anyone have any comments?
There's a lot of.
There is a lot of correspondence. I think you first to talk.
I just had a question about the John Cunningham, the one that they could see, treating the grass or the weed. But just getting a chemical company to start because we grow summer. Spraying on Monday, is that something that we started or?
That's something they always have done.
Oh, yeah.
But they alert the public, it's only within 24 hours and it's done. And it's still considered,
Is it like a sign up saying the spraying has happened during? that?
yes, they post it. I know it is interesting in this day and age that they still, but it is, even the landscaping group said, in order for us to come in there and do all your new plantings, we need to get rid of those weeds before we can begin. You know, so they posted
They want
a
their-
warning
They
sign.
want their landscaping to look good.
Well, I would never encourage to spray on a regular basis by any means. It was just to get that out so that we could put a new bed in there because the weeds were so overgrown that we had to take out all that work, whoever did those plantings years ago. So now we have to stay on top of it. So I'm gonna suggest to the commission in our next budget to, like our guys can't be on their hands and knees weeding the beds. But we could have a company come in annually, right before the, summer starts to weed out the beds. And see, we could get a number on it anyway. And then that way it would maybe keep our landscaping a little bit longer than what happened to the last 3.
Any other questions about correspondence?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Nice to have that compliment stuff.
I was just, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought so too. Never saw the fields in better condition. That was a nice comment. Or at least for Tony and his crew.
Too bad we can't put it in the paycheck, huh?
It's true.
Okay, so I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2025. So moved. Discussion, any questions, changes? Or did that already? All in favor? Let's do it again. Okay, so moving on, item 5, update on beach sticker changes at Lake Quanapug and Jacobs Beach.
Right, so in my directed
That
report,
information there.
just to give you
Here it
a
is.
number. And I thought they were. Had I not had to do this before the holiday weekend. What was astonishing was, Jacobs selling the daily fee of 65. And that was from Memorial Day weekend to July 2nd. On July 4th alone, we sold 60
Wow.
daily passes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I haven't checked Quanapug, but I would say it was probably as close to that 50 mark as well. So I myself was trying to get in Hammonasset. That was closed online, but by the time we waited an hour, we got in. But apparently most people that drove up to Jacobs Beach and Lake Quanapug needed a beach to go to, and they chose ours. So people happily gave their credit card and still having some little bit of, I wouldn't say pushback, it's just that
Unaware?
Sticker shock.
no, look at like our staff, like the kids, right?
Yeah.
Like I drive down a lot, and then one day there's nobody posted at Chittenden, and I had to go and say, Ryan, why isn't anybody posted? Well, there's only 2 of us, and I said, well, if I were you, I'd split up, right? I mean, split up. And so then I talked to Ryan, I said, look, the data is really important, right? So data speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
So if we brought in $2,500 on one day from daily passes, over 2,500. So what that speaks is volume. So by the end of the summer, if you guys really stick to your guns and help us keep that data up, right? Just by telling the truth, listen, policies changed this year. We're very sorry, we put a lot of new improvements in, but we're really concerned about our residents and making sure there's enough space for them. Therefore, we sold 200 and it's $50 from now on. We're going to assess it, but give them some reasons, like give them a
Yes.
little bit of feedback as to why it's changed to $50. And I said, listen, by the end of the summer, if the data shows like you brought in $10,000, I'm gonna go to bat for you for a stipend,
Yes,
right? At the end of the summer. That's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of angry people or challenged people. I mean, if they get put in a tough spot, why wouldn't we go out for a stipend for the gate guards? You know, their job has changed a lot. So he went. You know, so, but it put it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, so think about it. I mean,
They're young, they don't
they're
understand.
not young,
those kinds
but
of
when,
things, yeah.
when you say it that way,
Yeah, they get it.
they get it a little bit better. So.
Stipend, like is something you get at the end of
Right.
your service.
Right, so like I said, depending on how much money actually came in, and look at $2,500 one
Just a
day,
little bonus.
I mean, right, bonus. So, I don't think anybody would disagree to throw them a little bit more money at the end of the summer, but they gotta do their
I
job.
have to do it, she's gonna say,
At Chittenden Park there, like if, let's say if you wanna go to Chittenden Beach,
Okay. You can go to Chittenden
yeah,
Beach.
you don't, you don't, you just park, okay, yeah.
But there was a little bit of a struggle when it came to that, and I said, Ryan, look, there's somebody walking over already. You know, I mean, listen, that's.
Yeah, I was down, what day was on with, I stopped and saw Nora, I guess her name's Nora.
Yeah, Nora.
And I pulled in to get, and give her a drink or something, we're on our way out, and two residents, older residents, I heard them talking to her, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like it's going good, so I went in the parking lot to turn around and come out, and they were just leaving, I said, Nora, how'd that go? It's just like, just gave me, look on her,
Yeah. But it was residents or non-residents?
they're resident, they were walking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they were walking.
Okay.
But it's just frustrating that it's like, she's a high school kid, so now I got permission to give them a hard time. It was one, you can tell it was one of those
But what
deals.
are you giving her a hard time about?
I don't know, they're asking her all kinds of questions. I didn't hear the conversation, but I could tell it didn't seem like it was going, and I asked Nora when they walked away, they were basically,
But I'll tell
give
you,
her a hard time.
and also the customer, the gate guards, it's not just sit and look on your phone. It really is about making sure when people drive in, that they're like, wow, I was really like greeted, and it was lovely, and everyone's so nice and positive, and even when, I mean, that's what it should be. It shouldn't strictly just be like,
I'm down there every day and they are on their feet. First time ever. This is my third year picking up from camp or dropping off, and it's the first year ever. I mean, years in the past, I could have just waved my credit card at them. And
Right.
they would.
And so another thing is that some people I've witnessed are driving up and they're going like this with their beach sticker, and Ryan says, you're supposed to put that in your car, and I was standing right there, and she said, oh, you're kidding. Well, the last gate guard told me to hold it in my hand so I could put it on my other car.
Oh.
So,
No. So, yeah, there is some confusion about that. I said because my daughter went with friends to the beach on Saturday, the day after, and she said, oh, it's great, it wasn't crowded, which she was really happy about, because she thought, she had a bunch of little kids with her.
yeah,
And the one thing we're worried about is residents can't use the beach, right? So she said, no problem, even though it wasn't the 4th, but still, it's
It was
just Fourth of
busy
July
day, yeah.
weekend, She said, no problem, but she did say that somebody said they could use their sticker on another car as well.
Or the gate guard.
Yes. So.
but why in the world would we give a sticker out?
It says it right on the form,
Yeah, I know.
put the sticker
So-
on the window, so.
Yes, but why are our staff saying?
Yeah, so
I
I think
can't
it's just
imagine.
that they're trying to be nice, you know what I mean? They're thinking.
Right now, exactly, yeah, and they're struggling
Maybe they
so
didn't
hard.
do that, and maybe this person said
I-
this.
But who
Well,
knows,
well, there's two.
Two different people.
Yeah,
I'm sure
said it,
that
yeah.
somebody is
Somebody said it.
saying.
You can peel it off. You can peel it off and put it on another car if you're that desperate, but. Because it is that.
I know it is, yeah, it wasn't the smartest choice.
I did that, but I don't wanna see that.
I put money on it. Your staff member did tell that.
Right,
They're
yeah,
just
I would
BSing
say
it. Nothing, you mentioned like, what a guest pass. You can get guest pass.
Right, so we
Well,
did.
I did hear that too, that's nice.
Right, we didn't overly advertise this because we weren't sure how we would handle it, but what we said was if residents come in, which they will, if they're having a party and they want to go down and they want to bring their family and friends to the beach, and they're gonna be outraged that their family and friends have to pay $50. So we decided in the office that we would make daily passes. They're laminated cards. And if you know you're having visitors,
Yep.
you have, the only inconvenience is you have to come to the rec center to get your pass. And you can give it to your friends and they hand it in and it's a free pass. Cause we want you to be able to share your beach with your family and friends regardless of where they live.
So, if I'm coming, let's say I'm having friends at Saturday, we're gonna go to the beach, I can come in here Friday.
Yeah.
And you'll give
Yes.
these passes out.
Right,
Yes,
like
ma'am.
you tell me, what do I need to give you?
But they have to be with you.
They have to be,
Well, you have to have a pass, right?
Necessarily, not necessarily, because you wanna share your resource with your friends,
yeah,
right?
but they're in the same car with you, you wouldn't need a beach
You wouldn't
pass.
need it, but if you know, if you have 2 extra cars and they're gonna be, yeah, we'll give you
Having
2 passes, so they just pass it in, it's a free pass for them.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Each
it's really
person-
important.
let's say your friends, there's 4 people in that car.
Yeah.
Each person in that car would have to have a.
No.
No,
Just
the
the
car.
car.
Just the
Got
car.
it, okay,
And they
thanks.
hand it to the gate guard,
Yeah.
that's how it gets back to the office. for
And
the
then
next-
then it recirculates.
Just drive people in the trunk and get them in.
Yeah. But
I have to say, I went up to Quannapock
yep,
and as I drove in, I mean, they were right there to just say, hey, hi, and I said to myself, just drove right through to see how
Yeah.
things are going. And I would say that Quannapock has been less crowded than I have seen it in a
That's-
while.
I told you at 2 o'clock on, was that the 4th, I was going to Middletown, when you got stuck at Hamassett?
Yep.
So, and I was texting, I drove by at 2 and they still had plenty of parking
And
spaces.
that's, I mean, they used to be parking on the street, it's really, so it's a great improvement for them.
good.
And the beach is still full there
Yeah.
though, with,
Oh, no, no,
with
it's-
parking. Okay,
it
one
is.
more and then.
Yeah,
we're
back
gonna
in Second Row Road, said every time I go to Jacob's Beach, they're very nice, very friendly, they check my sticker.
Yep.
Yep.
Every time.
No, it's great, and I'm not, and I certainly have seen more good than
Yes,
bad.
absolutely.
But some of the responses I've heard, I try to say, well, next time, maybe give them a little better of an explanation than the policy changed.
Well, it's good for them to learn how to do this, and they're not gonna learn unless you tell them. But so here's we're gonna end on this topic,
Okay.
if we're all done with beach.
One more
one
quick
more.
question though. How is the income comparing to last year?
I don't have that data.
Okay,
Yeah, because we
Just
didn't have
curious.
daily passes.
no, I know we didn't, so I'm just wondering how big a difference this is making. We can
Right,
do that another
so,
time.
yeah,
no
we can do
problem.
that another time. The only thing I could have done was ran a report from Memorial to
That's fine.
there, just to see what the passes of everybody would have been, but I'll do that for the next meeting.
It's not,
That's
it's just curiosity.
No, it is curious, I like that.
Okay, so we're gonna move along, we're gonna leave that with a big shout out to our gate guards who are doing a great job and learning as they go. All right, next item 6, update on fireworks event.
Okay. So fireworks also took on a change. I believe I explained it to the commission last time. And we opened up the sales for online sales and we stopped it on just before the 1st because we had to take that, I think it was 400 that we sold passes and we had to mail them. People are currently still calling. One called today and said, I didn't get it. I ordered one, I didn't get it, but lo and behold, she went to her mailbox today and got it. So with the holiday being on Friday, we mailed them out last Monday and they're, hopefully they're going to, everyone will get them by Friday. In the meantime, we've re-advertised that we are still selling the passes for the $10 and the $25 for non-residents all the way up until Friday. They can pick up their tickets and pay for them here or online. We've sold 400 as of today, outside of the 400 that we mailed out. We brought in $5,600 so far, all of which is going to the Ag Society up until we hit 8,000. We may not hit 8,000 before Saturday. I was asked for a report from the Ag Society today. I gave them those numbers. They said they took it off their social media because they understand about 700 people are deciding to park somewhere else, so you'll be full.
We don't have any space, so there'll be.
So they're saying that on social media, they're gonna park somewhere else, and walk in. So whatever, we'll see how that
People have done
goes.
that for years.
Of course they do.
You're fine.
Of course they do. That's what I do, but we're talking about the non-residents. So what's gonna be very interesting here is there's been a few, like, there's been about 100 non-residents so far that have signed on. But it will be interesting if we have 300, say, left over by Saturday. And if I mean, we're certainly gonna get some flow in. It'll be interesting to see. It won't be the residents that don't go. It'll
Yeah.
be just the non-residents, and quite honestly, it's a Guilford show. So we may bring something in for town, or we may just be doing this all for the Ag Society.
Oh, which is fine,
is
but
fine.
the Ag Society should have worked in tandem with us to promote it all in a more positive fashion. And I'll leave it at that. I'm disappointed that, I mean, why take it off their social media? They
I
wanna
think
make the
just
money,
explain it nicely.
right, explain it,
You know,
and
our budget was cut. You know, it's important that our residents get a ticket at the same price, not raising any, we pay the taxes here, it's a $30,000 show. If non-residents wanna come see our $30,000 show, they're going to have to pay a little bit more for it.
Yeah.
And listen, I was at Darien for 9 years, our residents paid to help offset our show, and they paid $35 for their pass. They paid $35 for their pass, and they were happy to get their pass, because that's all they knew. They wanted to go to the high school, they wanted to watch the show, they wanted to sit with their family and friends and see it, and nobody balked. Because they knew that they were offsetting the cost by at least $10,000. They brought in about 10 grand that way.
I
And
don't
change is
think
hard.
Surrounding towns.
well, Madison, when I lived or had the House of Medicine, they would send out an envelope and said in the mail, would you like to
I
donate
know.
to this? And they did get a lot, I think, a good coverage from that.
Mhm.
It's been a long time since I've been a part of that, but I don't know if they still do that.
And
But-
Susan, it's really driven by the budget cut,
Yeah, I have no problem.
Yeah,
I'm
like
just saying, I think
60,000.
people would say some.
right? So 60,000 coming out of our account in
Yeah.
June, quite honestly, is the concerts and the
Yeah.
fireworks.
Yeah.
60 grand right there. You know, so it'll be very interesting for this first summer to see where we end up.
But we at the Keeping Society has not mentioned parking. When we open it up every year, we get some people park there. It's in and done. Because they go and they walk, but
Yeah.
we haven't sold it. We haven't told anybody
Mhm.
about it. We're not
Interesting.
competing.
Yeah,
Because if we get $50 that night, that's $50 we didn't have yesterday.
yeah.
You know, it's that kind of thought process.
So does this fill up?
It does, yeah, it does.
Because it was $5.
Yes, we have upped it just to
10.
10 this year, and usually fair parking, we charge 5. And I don't know if they're gonna change that amount, they might, just the cost of things are so high,
To
so.
maintain your own property there. So,
All right, so shall we move on from fireworks?
well, I'll just
Anything else you wanna
mention,
say?
I just mentioned that the gates open at 6. Have a sprinkle of, we're not doing any amusements, that's another budget cut. I didn't think that it was overly used or that parents were really looking for it last year, so I really did feel it was very wasteful. So we're not doing that this year. We do have 10 food vendors. This is Saturday. I can tell you, as of today, the weather looks okay, but there's a front before it, and there's a front after it.
Things can
So
change
if
and
it will stay where it is right now, I'd be really happy camper. But I don't know where it's gonna fall, so I pray that we have it this weekend, because, yeah, doing all those online sales and then people can't make it may be disastrous, so let's hope, let's hope we have it. And we have we have a great band, Morgan Skelly and the Old Crows. We are doing it to music again this year, so I'm hoping that goes off without a hitch. And that's it.
Any questions or anything? All right, update on Wings and Strings Country Bluegrass Festival, there's a true buzz about it out there.
I think there is.
There really is. People are talking about it.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have been, gosh, we've been at it since February.
Yeah.
And we're still, I am desperately writing lists and, you know, different categories. Our committee's selling baked potatoes. Ellen went out and got a large donation from Ashley's, so she'll be selling ice cream. All those proceeds go to to pay for the bands and all the expenses. I stopped at a car show. I finally landed the old truck for the open air photo shoot. Looking for an old tractor still. We're working on our yard games, kind of just nailing things like that. I think I told you about the hillbilly cornhole, which I think is hysterical. So the hillbilly cornhole, we're gonna have toilets and sinks and tires. And, you know, you throw the toilet paper in the sink, and then, I mean, the toilet paper in the toilet, we'll have a grill, you have to throw corn on the cob on the grill, so just kind of a funny dispute.
Fun family stuff.
Yeah, so, they're gonna have the cowboy boot toss and the cowboy ring toss, and we're gonna do mashed potato toss. $10 for a wristband to do all of it. So you have the dual mechanical bull rides, you have axe throwing, there's the petting zoo. So there's a whole slew of things. So social media next week will start to list those things. So wings and string yard games for $10 will be this, that you get all of. Our food vendors at the event will be all of these, so you'll know what you can expect to buy or purchase for that. We have a beer garden, 2 roads, an athletic brewery. We have a flirty mobile bar that comes in, and we have Christy Baker, who I met from Flowers on the Green. Oh my God, she's so creative. So she's gonna be doing like the opening saloon-like doors into a beer garden, and she's going to be decorating the open air photo shoot. Yeah, she's really, really good. So it's coming together. It is, it's coming together, and there really is a big buzz about it.
When did you start putting the tents up for the hand grass? Is it like right after? that?
Right after, maybe the Sunday.
Do it.
Yeah, yep. So, yeah, we will just avoid that, yeah, so. Well, let's say the 19th, no, the food craft is before that.
Handcrafts before that,
Before
that's what I'm thinking,
19th.
handcrafts is before that.
Right, so we have,
Second, third
we had our concert last night, we have fireworks, then comes the Arts Craft Festival, then comes, yeah,
So
so.
grass will already be.
Yeah. That's true, we're gonna have the burn mark, but it comes back.
It'll come back.
So what about parking? Do we have any plans for like shuttling people or?
You know, it's the first year, so,
Yeah.
you know, I think about, like, let's talk about the concert. I mean, there had to be well over 1,000 people there last night,
Yeah. that's true.
right? And where they all park, right? So,
St. George's.
and I don't see this event as someone who's gonna show up at 3 o'clock and stay till 8. You know, so I think they're gonna come at, say, 5.
Yeah.
You know, some are gonna come at 3 to just walk around, see the vendors, because they're not really that interested in bluegrass. They just wanna see what's on the green they're selling. You know, or they wanna come do the games for families and go home and have dinner. So
What time's the start?
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, but the first band, which is bluegrass, two bluegrass first, which start at 4 and 5, and then 6 is the country headliner.
Is there gonna say?
There is not,
Are you volunteering, Mary?
no, yeah, you know, John's all over, he's putting it all over the radio. But I would, if any of you are willing to spend a couple hours helping out, whether it's with the yard game, or if it's behind the potato booth, putting toppings on, or whatever we feel we can do, we'll need some hands for the first year.
Anywhere to dance?
Just in front of the stages, yeah, people were dancing last night,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
it's all
dancing by their seats too.
Yeah.
yeah, so no dance floor. I tried that last summer, it didn't work very well, so.
No.
Not gonna
it's not
attempt
worth it,
that.
yeah. Because they
Not
dance on the grass
necessary.
anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just fun dancing, it's not.
yeah, and again, it's the first year, so we can take the first year and learn a lot from it. And, you know, I think, I do think, you know, eventually.
But you don't think
grow.
it's gonna pay to have like maybe one bus come from, you know, like Adams up here?
We could, we just don't know yet, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, could be a free shuttle, but then it's another expense.
Yeah.
Right, it's another expense.
And then we'd have to pay a driver.
Well, we could use our vans, 'Cause it can only be 55 or older to use our vans. You'd have to hire a school
jeez,
bus.
I hadn't even thought about that. I thought
You
we
know,
did, yeah.
I mean, they
you're right.
got the congregational church around the school, you got the community center.
St.
the
George's
library,
parking lot
St.
is
George.
huge.
Give the library.
Yeah, they're not gonna mind for that, and they
Plus
might
we
get business.
Plus we have the walkers,
Oh, right.
bikers. I think we get through our first year and make some decisions.
Yeah.
All done with that?
All done.
Before we move off of the beaches, the concerts, et cetera, I'd like to give Pam and her team a huge shout out to. I know that Pam and Dan, whom I always want to call Adam, I don't know why, went down after the storm to Jacob's Beach to reset up all the chairs that had blown over. Our toy library blew over, all the things, so that the beach was ready for the people coming the next day, which is July 4th. And I sent her a text early on a Friday morning and said, oh my gosh, there's branches down on Green, did you know? And of course, she knew what she was doing. And I didn't see anybody, I didn't see any branches there last night, so you somehow managed that thing all on a holiday weekend on her days off, so a big shout out to you and your team
Thank you.
for taking care of all that, and I know that any of the commissioners would go down if you called, say,
Yes.
oh my gosh, we need to help picking up whatever, we'll be there.
Well, I will say one thing, and thank you. But even before the storm, I have been so crazy worried about the new sod and the new plantings. I've been putting a lot of time trying to get water on them. But I'd gone down before the storm, I mean, after work, before the storm. And we were cleaning up because I have to say, I was really disappointed in the camp and the counselors because it was filled with trash. And I spent an hour picking up trash and fixing everything. Then the storm came. We went back. No, they do. So I the camp today, a really long talk with the camp director and said, look, the kids need to learn and the counselors need to appreciate this space and appreciate and keep it clean when they want their front lawn to look like that. She said, yeah, I see them just throwing trash on the ground. Well, our counselors
Why'd you
need
say
to,
something?
right.
And the children need to clean up.
So I brought them all, I
I
brought them all gloves and trash bags today, and at the end of camp, they all need to go with their counselors and they need to spread around the. Oh. They need to spread around the camp and pick it up before they go home. So, let's see why that did that.
And,
I mean, it's
yeah,
really the counselors that should be on top of it.
right, and our kids should know, I mean, I would be. Right, well, they probably, I know my granddaughter's just sloppy, but they should be.
But I think that's a good thing to incorporate into camp anyway, like if
Yeah,
you're, okay, let's, each one of us go out and spend 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Pick up some trash and make sure it's clean for you guys tomorrow, and whether
Why is there even trash on the ground?
there
That's the
shouldn't
big
be.
question.
There shouldn't be. I'm honestly, I was really appalled. I mean, and my boyfriend at one point said, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
It was a post about it last year about it, and I said, oh, please give the counselors a chance and blah, blah, blah. So I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
They build it into their
they build it into their,
exercise.
absolutely, end of the day. So we'll see.
Like school
Keep an eye on
teachers
it.
do. Exactly.
So moving on to item 8, review and approval of expenditures. So can I entertain a motion to approve the expenditures? So moved. 153, 672 is the. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, questions, debate, decision? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Director's report.
Yes, so I put in the drone picture because it's so interesting. It looks so beautiful and that's with all the fencing around it and the warning tape and so I'm happy to announce that we are gonna do 4 more days of watering. Well, the water will continue, but the sod looks so good. We're gonna remove all the cones and all the tape and the newest information I have is the shades came in today, all the shades. I met with John, the vendor president of the playground. And they're gonna start installing, well, drilling and filling all the posts that they need put in place, next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wow.
Hopefully pour the cement on Thursday so that we can put plywood over the holes for the concert that's supposed to happen. Oh, no, this Thursday, the next Thursday. This one looks like it might be rained out. But for next Thursday, so that the concert could go on. So the playground shade structure will only take a day, so that's gonna be like 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. They'll install that. Then they'll put the footings in for the patio, I call it, the boardwalk patio. And then the 2 holes behind the benches at the splash pad. So hopefully by the 21st of July, those will all be up. So it's phenomenal. And so that's my newest information. And then on top of I just shared pictures of the flowers. I hope you've all noticed that we've gotten a lot of comments. Yep. Yeah, so we have, Melissa's been amazing help. She's the park ranger in the morning, so I've joined hands with her and said, while you're opening beach, will you just water the pots? You know, and she's been great. She's been on top of it. And of course, the new entrance, which many residents met me, I think they met me back in April, said, look at the entrance, it's so ugly. It's all overgrown, and so we tore it all out, and there's all new plantings, so it's gonna be beautiful. And we will have the toy library. Mike has been alerted, and so hopefully someone goes out to, but right now people think they're doing a good thing and they keep lifting it. And I keep putting it back on its back. Cause it's not secured. And people think they're doing the right thing by standing it up, and it's so dangerous because it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come down on a kid, so I keep.
When's that gonna get done?
I let him know, but it's a holiday weekend. I gotta put a sign on it. I just gotta get a sign on it, so. And the counselors know about it now too, and same with the beach cards, so.
So you want it not like this, but laying down,
Laying
so
on
but
its
the kids
back.
can still use the
Yeah.
toys. All right, we can put that out on the
No,
parents.
I love it, and I don't.
Right.
There's pails, shovels everywhere.
It's like the garbage.
So maybe go get the shovels and the buckets and put it all back in.
Yeah.
That would should be kind of a fun thing to do
Let's
because.
put it out in the parent group. It's pretty well, the broom was well received again this year. Is it still there?
Yes, but even if parents helps,
Yep.
because
back when
they're
done.
everywhere. This thing is absolutely empty. It's empty. There's not a single pail or shovel in it. It was
And they're all on
just,
the
it was
beach.
just suntan lotion squeezed all in the middle.
Pails, shovels, or are they unique? Do they have built for?
Just pails and
Some parents
shovels.
could like say, oh, there, go get your shovel and take it.
Doesn't even matter. They know that they know some will walk and some won't, but whatever's on the beach.
But we can, as a community, we can be mindful. I'll put it out on the parent
You're not
group
gonna
nicely.
I think that if you go to any park or whatever, if somebody does, kids are just like that. They just don't put stuff back.
Me too.
Parents are
I know.
accountable. I'm just sorry, but
Is anybody at the end of the beach day, people go around and pick up stuff on the beach itself or?
Something about working your own time. Yeah, I don't see a lot of people pick it up. I think, yeah, they're busy with
I
it.
mean, you couldn't get the lifeguards to do that, or that's not the job
Not the
description?
lifeguard, not the lifeguard, but our camp while we have them there really should take some time to teach the children that it's nice to pick up and keep your special area clean. I think that's,
even on the sign on the, where it says toy library, please bring the pail down.
there isn't and there should be.
Yeah.
So I can do that too.
Please bring it
Yep.
down.
I'll
Hate
get
to
that.
say.
People think library, oh, farm.
True.
And someone else will just play with it on the beach.
Right. And then I guess I would just report that, we are all, gosh, everybody's doing their part in the department. It's really busy from the
Busy.
concerts to the new event we're planning. How's the 4-day-a-week schedule working? Good. I like it. Well, it's Rob, Ellen, Savannah, and Jen that are partaking in it. And Terry's having a hard time using it. She's a worker bee, But she's, on the few days that she has taken advantage, she likes it. Ellen, Rob, Jen are pretty consistent and feel very happy and really enjoy it, so, so it's been good. And I know town hall is trying it now. Oh, really? So the finance department has, jumped on board, to see as a trial. Whether it works for them, and I think it's wonderful, works out for them too.
How's Shaw working out?
Good, she's out in California, she,
Very
she,
pleasant, right?
yeah, she had a Little People's Convention
Good.
out in California for 2 weeks, so, thank God for Stephanie.
But Stephanie was still, I was talking to her. She said there's so much, she was still here at 6:30, so why are you
She
here?
is every day.
And
I
she said,
mean-
well, I got it, makes sense, it's a busy place.
It's such a busy place, I don't know how anybody can walk out the door at 4:30.
I also want to give a shout out to the posts about what all the camps are doing each week, that post. I just had no idea. I know about Camp
Oh, the
Nanga.
kayaks going up.
Right, that, yes, all of those posts, it's just letting our town know what's available, and they're wonderful, they're very positive. And I particularly enjoyed the kayak one with the lifeguards standing there watching. So, yeah, so thank you to all of yours and Rob's, I take it to Rob and Jen making those posts and whoever.
Yeah,
They're very, very good.
It's a collective, thing we're doing with the social media, and we're almost at 2,000 followers. Really is, so.
And it wasn't long ago you wanted to get to 1,000.
I know, so we've done well, and I was at the concert last night, and I always get such a giggle out of one gentleman came up, he said, I was waiting for another What's Up video. So I always check for What's Up video, I want to see what's happening with the shading structure, and then Jen was so kind to I had a wedding at 3:30 yesterday, and I was having a really tough time deciding what to do because I had nobody in the office that was gonna get up on the mic and introduce. And Jen was like, oh,
She did good.
she did it, and
You heard her voice.
Yes.
I couldn't hear where we were sitting.
no, I can't. Yeah, I came back. I couldn't miss the first one, and I could not let her do it all alone. So we kind of, but she was such a trooper, and I'll tell you, she has been above and beyond.
Yeah, she has.
Above and beyond. So, yeah, she's fantastic.
We are very
In the
blessed
back,
here.
could not hear her at all. She was in the wrong microphone. I
Well,
think.
I understood, because we couldn't hear the saxophone, so I went up to our sound guy after, and he said, well, he has 3 on one side and 2 on your side. And I said, well, why don't we have 3 and 3? Because you could hear the sax on the other side,
Jeez.
so I think that's what it was, so.
But she looked good up there. She looked very comfortable,
She was nervous.
and you could see, she was asking people to raise their arms or something.
No, she said, what's up, Parks and Rec?
Oh, okay.
And so they.
But, and then I brought these songs, yeah, so that was very,
So,
she did a good job.
I went
Great job.
straight back, way back toward Pages, and they could hear her back there. They were like,
You
"Good
knew where I
job, Jen."
was.
Yeah, you could- Okay, right,
That way.
that's because it was that side,
Yeah, it was
that
a
only had
huge-
2 speakers, and it was facing more
That's
direct.
right.
Yeah, so we, at least we're here, good, so at least we learned something.
Okay. Item 10, oh, are you finished?
Yes,
So sorry.
oh, no,
Okay, report of the commissions and staff representatives, standing fields.
so Standing Fields, there was a long discussion on the importance of the Standing Fields Committee at this point after 25 years. And they had asked John Kennedy, the president of it, he's ready to step away. He's happy to stay on, but he's ready to step away. And there doesn't seem to be any interest on the committee to step in his role. But they were able to ask the question. At the time when they started, the fields really needed
They
the committee.
needed, I remember.
They needed the expertise, they needed the separate commitment on the side to look at the turf fields and look at all the other fields. Well, our fields are doing really, really nicely. And so when they go out on field walks, they're kind of nitpicking outside of like the issue with the turf. So the question was, well, if we weren't here, what would you do? And Well, it would be Tony and I, and then we would come to the commission, we would say. We have an issue here or there, or we need to budget money for our next budget, so just seems to be an extra layer, maybe that's. I'm not gonna say not needed, because their expertise is great to have. But maybe, and they also floated the idea of, maybe it's on a quarterly basis.
Just as it maybe.
You know, you
as
just check
needed,
in.
or an as needs basis. Yeah.
So,
Stewart's gone to that. They used to meet every month, and now they meet every quarter. Just not so much they need.
right, right, and right now we don't have a secretary, and so there's been some.
Yeah.
Questions right now, so they're trying to work it out, I think he wants to have a talk with Matt about it. So that's what happened there. Green Committee, we did not meet this month.
Land acquisition. And moving right along, concert committee.
And concert committees, right now is all about
Getting ready
wings
for-
and strings, yeah,
And
everything,
thank you
everything's
all for
booked.
all your work on this. I just
That's
keep hearing it.
fantastic.
You're having another meeting and another meeting.
Oh, every Wednesday.
We appreciate it. If the concert last night was anything to go by, it was, you're doing excellent work.
So I'll tell you, I was pleasantly surprised about last night, because I was feeling as if we hadn't done enough physical marketing. So we went, we made a whole bunch of 8.5 by 11. Jen and I went into Pages, and we went all different places along the green to just see any of them. I don't know if you did that.
Oh, the flyer.
Yeah, so we put up some physical flyers, only because I was feeling like, wow, is social media enough for our first concert to get to people to know?
People look for
They
the.
do.
They know, they know. Everyone
What?
looks, they know. You're right.
What's happening?
And you saw the concert,
I didn't see.
because I didn't see it, and I thought to myself, how are we not getting in the
saw it.
courier?
I could be wrong.
For Sunday.
It was in the courier.
It was?
Yeah, I thought I saw it.
Okay,
I'm sure it was in the courier. I thought I saw it.
right,
People in town look forward to these
Yes,
concerts, so
yes,
you
they
have that momentum behind you as well.
I know they do, but it was only my like the
you're
second summer
nervous, I
going,
know.
and I was like, here, all this energy, you know, so it's like, well, no, it's all concert committees, and that was new.
Yes.
So last year was all just on my shoulders, now it's on everybody's shoulders.
Now you can blame everybody else, man. Okay, so that's concert committee, unfinished business, new playground update,
Gave it to you,
okay, Eagle Scout project at Dog Park,
haven't heard a word.
Eagle Scout project at Jacobs Beach,
That is
just about there, isn't it?
almost, the buckets are out, and the grabbers we are looking for, but there's no buckets. So once, there's a little shelf on the side, that looks like maybe 4 buckets could go in there, and the idea is that you'd grab a bucket and you grab a grabber and you go
Pick up
around and pick up trash. So until that's,
Yeah, right.
so, or they can use them, that would be fine. So, it's almost, I'd say it's 95% done. It's in the right position, so
Okay, new business.
go ahead, no, you go, because I have something.
I have a question about Bobby. It's actually Bobby on Monday, and it's actually left. And, you know, with all the rain, weeds and all, it's one of the weeds, it's just the, like, did there used to be a rake there? Or did the Parks and Rec?
Somebody, one of the guys used to come on Tuesday morning early with a rake and just rake it out for us, not a Park and Rec guy, but one of the guys who played.
Okay.
And I
For the
know
same-
But we've been complaining, the
Right.
Tuesday group, we've been complaining
for a while
for
now.
years.
Okay.
Oh, well, even heavily recently, so we did have Guerrero Landscaping come out and look at them.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that, like, he doesn't believe it's an overhaul that's needed, he believes you need more material for it to be tamped. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
tamped
yes.
and rolled, because when it gets wet, it's,
It divots.
right, so. I think I think you're gonna have to just be patient, just let us get through this like crazy period right now, and then we plan on bringing some material in.
Let's be clear, did they get the buildings on there? They put the floors on here. Free labor?
Can you say that again?
We're landscaping, the pavilions down at Jacobs Beach, did they put the floors,
The stonework?
in the stonework?
No, that we paid for that.
I was gonna say, but like,
I can't say it was discounted, but I can say that they came at a
Fair price.
fair price, and then what happens is then you realize when the stonework went in, oh, what are we gonna do about this lip? Then you had to put in metal, then you had to put the stone in, and then you had to, then we had to put the shower in, and then so. It started at a fair price and it just kind of, in order to finish it, which we did, it ended up costing
What
about
did
50
they do?
bucks.
I thought they donated the time for something down there.
They what?
I thought they donated the labor for something.
They did, they donated the labor for the walkway to the splash pad.
Oh, got it, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then they did the walkway for us into the playground, which I thought was very reasonable. It was like $4,900 just to do the walkway with all the personalized bricks. That was really reasonable.
That was just-
And they'll put in the other missing stones that go up to the splash pad once we get the footings in.
So they put in the labor to the free labor to.
To the splash pad,
Okay, okay.
not to the playground. I felt it was very reasonable and they were, look, I give him this too. He's so fun to work with and they just got the job done.
Yeah,
And then Guerrera is the one who put she said, I have a day, do you want me to put flowers in those flower pots? I said, yes,
yeah.
yes,
So they're local, which we like,
Mhm.
and they're responsive.
they are.
I mean, they donated a bunch of hours to put that walkway in.
And it felt good to give back. And then on top of it, after that, I was like, so want to sponsor one of the concerts? So he was a sponsor of last night's concert. He had his banner up and he's never done it before. So he was,
Years ago, his daughter put a sidewalk in at our house.
yeah, she's good.
Is she still working? Yeah,
She did the whole front of it.
is she? Yeah, she's a worker. man.
She's a worker.
I know.
And she did the flower pots. I like.
Yeah,
her
no
a lot.
nonsense. Just,
She's
yeah.
great. So anyway, he sponsored for $1,000 and that felt good. So we got about $11,000 that we brought in for sponsorships.
That's fantastic. And I have one other question. Is there sunscreen at the beach like we had talked about?
There is. The mistake that happened is we have one at the bathrooms at Jacobs and it has the correct sign because it's been out for some time. Chris, our new maintenance guy, put out the new ones that were in boxes we hadn't been able to do last year, but he forgot to put the metal. He didn't know what the metal sign was, so nobody knows what it is other than the sleeve on it. So we put it in front of the playground.
Like the bathroom.
Well, no, that one has a sign.
Oh, okay.
The one in front of the playground does not have a sign other than the sleeve that's around its body saying that it's Yale medicine
Sunscreen.
and it's a foot pedal.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe you can do what's up, Parks and Rec, right?
I had another suggestion from a friend. Instead of a water fountain, a water bottle filler.
Yeah.
That would be a nice thing because people all bring water bottles to
Yeah.
the beach.
Don't you
And-
use the water?
And they do it in
fountain?
so many public places today.
Yeah, they are, and actually that water fountain, closest to the splash pad
Yeah.
is fairly, it's getting older now. and,
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
so maybe that's when we decide to replace that, we can upgrade it to that.
Good idea. Although I thought I would use the water fountain.
You could, but
Have you-
it's slow.
Oh, it
But
is.
it's slow.
Oh,
And
I
you have to keep on
okay.
the other. And you just put your
Oh, I see.
freaking water bottle ready to.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's sort of like the refrigerator, you know what I mean?
like downstairs we have one.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Any other new business questions, discussions? Hey,
But let me know if you have a couple hours that you could give on July 26th, it would be really helpful. You can email me. And I can put you in a fun station. Yeah, good.
absolutely.
I'll do the ice cream. No.
Right, you got to fight Ellen for that one.
But we need to.
I know, I figured I had to find out for this. Motion to adjourn.
We need a second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah,
Thank you. So what time do you